Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I wanted to upload this video a few days ago, but I got sick, I'm assuming with the flu, and it still currently feels like there's a glass shard in my throat. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little late to this one. So forgive me if I sound very close to my mic, I just can't really talk that loud. Anyways, I saw this blowing up on my timeline and I just can't help but talk about it. So I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw this article by Deadspin. This is a verified account, by the way, that uploads articles related to sports and stuff. The article was written by an asshat named Carron J Phillips, and it was titled, "The NFL Needs to Speak Out Against the Kansas City Chiefs Fan in Blackface Native Headdress." Before I even begin to read this article, because it is one of the worst things I've ever fucking read. It's like actually unbelievable the shit he says in that article. But before I get into that, I want to specify that this kid is somewhere between the age of 9 and 12, I think. It was kind of hard to find what the age of the kid was. People are saying like 9, 11, 12. He's somewhere between that age. The guy who wrote this article, Carron J Phillips, I'm sorry to pull like a Levy here, but this dude is literally 40 fucking years old. You have a 40-year-old grown, almost middle-aged, grown fucking man trying to cancel a literal child. Dude, this man must have been in the bathroom sucking cocks for money if this is the kind of content that you have to whip up just to get a paycheck. Because there's no way you think this is actually good enough to make an article for and sit here and think it's justifiable in the first place. I can't keep sucking all these dicks. There's gotta be a better way to make some... Does that kid have black on his face? Also, really quick, here's a picture of the kid's face from the front, so you can actually see what he's wearing, and it's not blackface, clearly. Anyways, let's read this god-tier article that this guy decided to upload. It takes a lot to disrespect two groups of people at once, but on Sunday afternoon in Las Vegas, a Kansas City Chiefs fan found a way to... Found a way to hate black people and the Native Americans at the same time. This is literally the first sentence of the article. The first fucking sentence, and it is one of the biggest stretches I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not even exaggerating. This is actually absurd. Like, just imagine reading this article as that kid, and somebody else is telling you that you hate black people and Native Americans. I think this would also be a good time to add that a lot of people have also mentioned that his father and his grandfather are both Native American of the exact tribe that he's, dressed up as. And even his own mother put up a post explaining that her son is Native American. Just a little extra piece of context before I continue to help people realize what an asshat this guy is. It was as if John Gruden's emails had come to life. The image of a Chiefs fan in blackface wearing a native headdress during a road game leads to so many unanswered questions. Normally when I read a stupid article, I'm able to go through at least an entire paragraph before I'm able to comment on something that's like very illogical or stupid. This dude has made 3 sentences so far, and every one of them have been so fucking dumb. Like, it feels like I'm reading an Onion article. It is so, like, I almost can't believe that this is actually published on a verified account that isn't satire. Anyways, his little reference to John Gruden's emails, this may be a shocker. He wrote an article. That's exactly why it's underlined, because that's the link to it. The title of the article is oddly specific. John Gruden is a perfect example of how mediocre white men get to thrive in the workplace. Now, I looked at some of the emails this dude had sent. The dude straight up started talking about black people's lips and saying like it's a tough-skinned job for a dark-skinned person. You're comparing a kid wearing something that's directly related to him to a grown man with very questionable emails about another race. Like, does this not explain how hard... I'm gonna keep doing this shit through the whole video because it's just funny that this is a grown-ass man. But does it not show how this grown-ass adult is trying to paint a literal child as like a racist asshole off of one single picture with the context purposefully missing? Anyways, let's read some of these unanswered questions that Carron J Fuckhead so desperately needs the answers to. Why did the camera person give this fan attention? Probably because he's wearing a very accurate and flashy costume that directly appeals to the team he's supporting. I don't know. Could be that. Why did the producer allow that camera angle to be aired at all? That's actually a pretty good question. The producer should have ran over to the child and forced him to face towards the camera. And the producer should have also known that there are retarded journalists on the internet that would spin things into something they're not. Is that fan a kid / teenager or a young adult? Despite their age, who taught that person that what they were wearing was appropriate? Probably his dad and his grandfather, because they're of Native American descent and that's their culture. I mean, like, For fuck's sake. He then goes on for like another paragraph blaming the NFL for being inherently racist or something. So I'm gonna skip past like certain parts of his article that don't even directly relate to this. There's no pretty way to mascot people. Amanda Blackhorse, a Native American activist and an organizer of a pregame protest rally, told USA Today Sports earlier this year. This is what happens when you ban books, stand against critical race theory, and try to erase centuries of hate. You give future generations the ammunition they need to evolve and recreate racism better than before. And for the next entire page and a half, he starts talking about the NFL's end zone messages and how they should be better because they don't make a difference. He goes on like some long, obscene rant about this shit. So finally, towards like the very bottom of the article, he continues about it and says, as of now, the league hasn't released a statement on what took place in the stand in Las Vegas on Sunday. The photo of that fan floating around on the internet is beyond a bad look for a league, while simultaneously being what should be expected from the NFL. This was a 2.5-page article made solely off of a picture and this dude's assumptions. If you want to read all the extra shit he said in the article, I'll leave it in the description. In terms of an article, it's about the average size. It's not very long at all, but you know, given the context, it's been incredibly stretched out, and I'm pretty sure he was just trying to use this as fuel so he could find an excuse to talk about how much he hates the NFL. Now, since this article released, this dude has gotten so much fucking slack on Twitter, which is kind of surprising. Normally you'd think people on Twitter would support him like the most asinine shit possible, but people have been calling this dude out left and right. And it makes it even worse since this dude has tried to double down and defend himself. I noticed there was a reply thread of people calling him out for, you know, choosing that hill to die on. And at the bottom of the thread, he goes, this stopped being about what it's really about and started being about something that people made up in their minds / convinced themselves a long time ago because people don't read. That has got to be the most ironic statement of the entire year. Talk about changing things into something that people made up in their own mind when that's exactly what he did in the first place. He also made this reply, for the idiots in my mentions who are treating this as some harmless act because the other side of his face was painted red, I can make the argument that makes it even worse. Y'all the ones who hated Mexicans but wear sombreros on Cinco. What the fuck does this even mean? And why did he bring Mexicans? What does it have to do with anything? This dude is so obsessed with race. Honestly, that's all I got. My brain is completely fried after reading this shit. If you guys enjoyed, thank you for watching and come back for the next.